Hey, Stephen Smith here, and I believe that I have a word from the Lord for you today. God's blessed me with the opportunity to be able to spend time with Him in His Word, and I wanted to share some of these passages with you because I believe that He's not only talking to me, but He's also talking to you. God speaks to us clearly through the power of His Word so that we can understand it, so that we can grasp it, but He also does it so that we can always go back and refer back to something that He's told us. Look at this verse that the Lord showed me today. This is Isaiah 49:4. It says, I replied, but my work seems so useless. I spent my strength for nothing and to no purpose. Yet I leave it all in the Lord's hands. I will trust my God for my reward. Isaiah is going through all these difficulties and these trials. Are you too? All these difficulties, all these hard times that we have, we seem to think, wow, I've just done all these different things and I've failed. I've failed miserably. We want to blame God. We want to blame others. We want to blame everybody but ourselves. And the reality is that we're out there trying to do these things under our own power rather than under the power of God. Why don't you allow God to take charge of the things in your life and start working for you rather than you working against Him by trying to do it yourselves? The children of Israel were unable to go into the promised land not because of their sins, but it was because of their unbelief. Yeah, that's true. Look at Hebrews 3:19. It says, so we see that because of their unbelief, they were not able to enter into His rest. God wants us to be able to rest in Him. In fact, He says, I want you to labor to enter into my rest. Seems contrary, doesn't it? But what He really wants you to do is He wants you to just trust Him. He wants you to allow Him to begin working in your life. And the only way that you can do that is if you rest. It's no coincidence that Jesus, when He worked all the different miracles in the temple, He did it on the day of rest. That demonstrated that it wasn't Christ Himself who did this, but it was God working through Him. The only one who's supposed to be working on these different things is God through us. And if we allow Him to do that, then you're going to see that you'll have much more success than you could ever imagine or hope for. Paul wrote this in a letter to the church at Rome. He said, look, what shall we say about such wonderful things as these? If God is for us, who can ever be against us? So if we know that God's on our side, how on earth could we possibly fail? That's what Paul was telling us. Look at this. David is faced with having to kill a giant. He's put his foot in his mouth. He's gotten out there and he said, look, I'm going to take care of this giant myself. And he goes out and he approaches the giant. But look at how his attitude is so much different than all of ours. He goes out and he says, look, this is what I'm going to do under the power of the Lord. So if we can use the power of the Lord to be able to go out and accomplish and kill the giants that are standing there in front of us, that are taunting us, that are telling us that we can't do things, then the only way that we can do it is through the power of God Himself. This is 1 Samuel 17:45 through 47. David replied to the Philistine, you come at me with a sword and spear and javelin, but I come at you in the name of the Lord of the heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you defied. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head, and I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and wild animals, and the whole world will know that there's a God in Israel. And everyone assembled here will know that the Lord rescues His people, not with sword and spear. This is the Lord's battle, and He will give you to us. God really wants to work in your life. It's really about time that we all surrender ourselves and enable God to be able to do that. Once He does that, there's no way that we can possibly fail. Look, this is the word that I believe the Lord's given to me for you today. It's not about your effort, but rather my grace for you. I will call you to do only what you can do by trusting in me. You're trying too hard. Believe and rest in me. What a good word for us, isn't it? Well, I hope that this word has blessed you and that you take the time to share this on Facebook, on Twitter, on Pinterest, on Instagram, all the different social media opportunities where you can take a look at this. You're more than welcome to take a look at these scriptures by clicking the link below. It'll take you right to a PDF that shows you all the different scriptures that we use today. Again, I encourage you to share this on Facebook. You can go to YouTube and watch more of our videos there. Please visit our website. It's updated every single day. It's called awfg.today. And in fact, we've even embedded our blog there. That's awfg.blog, or you can find it on our website. Be sure that you sign up for our podcast too. We'd love to make sure that the Word stays with you all day long. Well, God bless you, and I hope to hear from you soon.